Welcome to Let's Talk. I'm your host, Cass McGowan at the Education Centre here at the Separate School Board. And just like to thank the Separate School Board for allowing us to use this wonderful facility. It really gives us a good opportunity to just showcase our young people in the proper way. Today's topic is about the dual credit system that is now existing at Clair College, and what a wonderful program this has turned out to be. I had the great opportunity of interviewing and talking to students at the program, and basically what it means is that young people at high school who previously had dropped out of school and wanted to come back really didn't feel comfortable coming back to a high school setting because they were much older than the younger people at the high school. They felt that they were maybe a loser or they were a failure. And this program has given them great hope and opportunity. So that's the purpose of the show today. I want to thank our students from Assumption taking part, and we've all got our students from Clair College. But let me introduce Art Barron, who's a administrator of the program. Art, maybe just give us a quick synopsis of what the program means.
Hi, my name's Art Barron. I am the supervisor of youth development programs at Clair College, and so the majority of my portfolio is dealing with the dual credit program. Now, the dual credit program allows high school students to take a college course and get high school credit at the same time as getting that college credit. So these are real college courses that our students take, and it gives them a taste of what college is like without having any expense at all. There's no barriers financially to these students, and so there's high school students, regular high school students that take the program, as well as these students here who are from our school within a college program, and that's what we're focusing on mostly today.
And just to represent the Separate Board, and also what role you play in making this program work.
My name is Susan Friedel. I'm the coordinator of experiential learning, and that includes cooperative education, the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program, as well as guidance and pathways. And one of the key roles that I perform in our board is ensuring that all students are on a pathway, that they are all first and foremost looking to get their high school diploma. So, and the dual credit opportunities at the Thursday, the half-day away program, provides a student a taste, an opportunity to try out college without providing any financial investment. So it's a great opportunity for those students who are still at grade 11 or 12, not sure of their pathway, that they could try out that program. So I help facilitate that and recruit students who would be good candidates for that program. And as well, we have, of course, our school within a college students here as well, who for some reasons, and various reasons you'll hear from, that fell behind and have not completed their high school diploma. And they're of an age where to go back into a mainstream high school is prohibitive. They wouldn't feel welcome. They'd feel the schedules are tight. There isn't the flexibility. They'd have 4 teachers instead of 1 focused teacher. So there's various reasons why for them to go into this school within a college program will, take away those barriers and provide them that opportunity to get their high school diploma.
Okay, and we have Angela from the Public Board, who also has the same role, I believe, as Susan. And I know this is a very meaningful program for you, Angela. Maybe you'd want to introduce yourself and tell us what this program means in terms of your position.
Hi, I'm Angela Cialarella-Bondi. I am teacher consultant for re-engagement and alternative education. So the alternative education portion is similar to what Susan does. The re-engagement portion is actually my favorite part because I get to call students back that have left the system without graduating and invite them back and try to find the program and the pathway that suits where they are at this point in life. So yeah, I've been doing that for about 3 years, and we've called back quite a few students, and it's a really good opportunity for me.
Thank you. And just to support what Angela said, this program 3 years ago at 40 students, today it has 400, and to me that's dramatic numbers. It just shows you why this program is so important and why it's been so successful. I know, Heather, I'm so glad you came from Chatham to be with us today. You were part of the program, and maybe introduce yourself, tell us what you do at Chatham and how that program developed from where it started a couple of years ago.
My name is Heather Burke, and I'm the school within a college teacher at Clair College at the Thames campus in Chatham. And I work for the Lambton-Kent District School Board. It was a partnership between the school board and the college that came together to allow us to have the SWAC program, which I'm very thankful for. I started this job 4 years ago, and 4 years ago I had 12 students in my program, and we were focused on the education piece primarily, and the goal was to get them to graduate from high school, but over time the program has progressed, and now we offer a much more broader look at the individual, and we try to provide opportunities to help students not only get their education and attain that milestone, but also to grow as people and to start looking outside of their own comfort zone and to realize what exactly their own potential is.
Okay, and just to make you understand the background of this story, I went to visit these students at Clair College, and I had a broad perspective as an educator. I remember teaching all the students that failed, but the ones that I knew dropped out of high school that didn't have this background. So when I listened to their stories, I was so impressed by what they had to say and how they've handled themselves through adversity, that a lot of students, for example, maybe in our assumption group, maybe have not experienced, and you'll hear from both sets of students today. But let me start off with Chantel. I know you have a unique story like all of your students have, and tell us how you got involved in the program and what it means to you.
Well, it started off, I was doing pretty fine when I first started going to high school. Things then started to get a little bumpy, and I couldn't take the stress anymore, so I ended up having a mental breakdown. And so I decided school wasn't as important. I didn't go. I decided it wasn't a major thing for me. I was going nowhere anyways. I started to get my act together when the teacher that was in charge of the same type of area at my school came up to me and said, "There's this new program. I thought you'd like to join it." And at first I was like, "No, I'm not doing this." And then she kind of pushed me more towards it. I researched it and thought maybe it would be a good idea. Coming here, I realized it was very different. I felt more adult-like because they didn't restrict you from anything. And also, I also had a teacher here who actually got me in gear, who actually got me on the right path on the first day when I took the wrong step.
And we may as well go to that teacher right now, right? Yeah.
Well, Chris really did help. He's very welcoming to all of us. He plays around with all of us. He gets us to work. What really helped me was on the first day, I decided, let's just play around, right? Let's not do too much work. And he caught me on it. He commented, and I started busting my butt.
Sir, I don't know. You got to defend yourself here. Tell us what this is all about.
I think on the first day I made a comment on every one of their assignments that they handed in. This is the amount of work that you can complete in 2 hours. We're in trouble. After that, students got to work.
Since I have you on board here, Chris, you may as well tell us, I know you spent most of your career in alternative education, and myself too, I did the same, so I have an understanding of how you have experienced your career, but there is, Chris, an emotional component to this program beyond academics that you have to have in order to give these students the dignity and the motivation to succeed. Maybe explain that for me.
I find it's really important to build a relationship with the students first and then let the academics come from that point on. So and we had that opportunity to start right at the beginning of September. So we were together 5 days a week. The college program didn't start till 3 weeks after. So we went through that adversity of moving around the college and finding our classroom hour by hour, that kind of thing. And it really, I was frustrated with it, but it did really form us as a group. And we went through that, and we were able to spend those 3 weeks just working on curriculum, but also building the relationships between the students.
And going over here to Chris, I know this was a story that any of you watched the first part of the show. We talked about these students, sometimes they have to leave the house. They're not a part of the family. They have to get a job. They have to, balance schoolwork and jobs. And sometimes they get kicked out of school because they're spending too much time at work. And sometimes they get kicked out of work because they're spending too much at school. So I'm amazed at the way they can handle the job. Chris, you were one of those students. You want to tell us your story?
Yeah, I started out my grade 12 year. I just moved out of my house that summer, and I had to find a job real quick. I got in contact with one of the youth and family resource centers in Essex County, and they helped me get on track to find an apartment, but they told me I needed a job. So I went out and I found a job. Needed to start working full-time as much as I could. Started doing that and started falling behind on my schoolwork. I was originally planning on going to university, so I had like a very heavy course load. and the work basically just became impossible for me to be doing as far as getting my work done during the day, being able to go to work at night, and the high school there really didn't have much sympathy for the fact that I did have to go to work and whatever. They thought that I was putting my education on the side and it should have been my first priority always. I didn't think that that was necessary just because I wouldn't have a roof on my head at night. So I ended up falling behind on my credits and lost out on 4 of them. And then my vice principal, when I asked to come back for my 5th year, he told me about the SWAC program. So I got in contact with the SWAC teacher, Mr. Stone, Dave, and he set up an interview with me, and then I got into the SWAC program, and I've been here since then, and showing up every day, doing all my work, and it's going really well. I'm making a lot of progress.
Thank you so much. And I know, Nick, you're in the Assumption program. This is probably new to you in terms of listening to what these young people have experienced. Maybe some comments as to what you think, how they're accomplishing and doing their work?
Well, to give an example, I think a lot of these cases that we see here, it's caused by sort of one common thing. And to sort of explain it, last night I was doing my English homework, or sort of procrastinating it rather, and I was sitting on Facebook, a mixture of Facebook and YouTube, and I heard my dad walking towards towards my closed door, so I closed up my browser really quick because I knew if he saw that I was in for it. So, but I think that what we see here with a lot of these cases is that there's a lack of that when they go to high school. But as they get older and they become, I don't know what the average age is, but as they get older and say they're at more of a college age, then they're more mature and they're more self-motivated. So now they don't, instead of having that sort of parental motivation, now they're self-motivated, so they can motivate themselves to do their own work.
Putting you on the pedestal here, so to speak, Nick, if you had to live on your own, if you had to look after your basic needs, if you had a balance between high school and university and workplace, that would be quite a difficult.
Yes, it would. I think a lot of my fellow classmates are in agreement with me when we say that we have no idea, just no idea how we would manage it. I mean, me personally, like I'm a slow worker when it comes to homework, so trying to balance homework and then going to work and then going to school the next morning, it would be quite the workload. I think my grades would suffer, and it's just so therefore it's really great for these guys to be able to come back and just sort of build off of if that did happen to them where they had to work and that their grades did suffer, then they could come back when maybe they have more time now, so they could finish up all their credits and get their degree.
Thanks, and let's move on to Sean here. I know, Sean, you've got your own story, and again, it's one of leaving home and trying to balance and so on and so forth. You want to share that with us, Sean?
Yeah, I started off in St. Joe's. I got no credits from there. I went on to St. Mike's, where Chris Morris was my co-op teacher. I started working.
Up for a minute. You guys pay this guy? Did he pay you to say all these nice things?
No.
Just teasing. Go ahead.
I started working while I was going to school. It got a little bit easier for me. I live on my own for 3 years now. It's been really helpful throughout these last couple of years being in the SWAC program. Now I'm really motivated to start actually moving on with my life, start working, doing what I want to do. I want to be a chef. I'm doing what I want to do.
Thanks so much. Just for the benefit of our audience, talking in public in front of a microphone isn't the easiest thing in the world. When I started this program way back when at King Edward School, I always told the students, what's the one thing that the humans fear the most? And they always told me, sir, snakes. And I would say to them, well, that's why I must be able to enjoy talking so much, because there's no snakes in Ireland, so I'm not afraid of anything. But actually, It's not snakes, it's public speaking. And for the audience to understand, for these people to get up today and to maybe speak in public for the first time using a mic, it's quite an achievement. But and tell the unique stories in the way they've done, I'm really impressed. But I know for everybody that doesn't know, you're a famous tennis player at Assumption, isn't that the story? And I don't want to hear about your tennis game right now, but I want to hear about how you reacted to this conversation today.
Yes, well, after hearing all the numerous perspectives on this program, it's led me to believe that the predominant factor of why this program is so great is it's able to restore these people's pride. In high school, they had to overcome numerous obstacles, and that kind of made them suffer in school. But now, through this SWAC program, they're able to get those high school credits and are able to motivate themselves now. And I think that's just a really great thing.
Appreciate those comments really much. The young ladies at the back there are sitting and they're wondering, when am I going to call on them? But the young lady at the back there, is it Carmen? Can you sit beside your friend Victoria there and tell us what you're thinking of what you've heard today so far?
So personally, I think that this program is amazing, just for the fact that everyone that goes through with this program, they've suffered so many, like, I guess, hardships, any like obstacles, challenges that just kind of they think that they change their priorities. There's more important things in life rather than they're going to school. And with this program, once these obstacles can become overcome, they can go back to school and just kind of backtrack, get those credits that they need, and just kind of go into the workforce and just be even with everyone else that didn't have to suffer these, I guess, obstacles. And it just, I guess, levels the playing field, and it just provides them with the same opportunities as the students that didn't have to go through the many challenges that they did.
Okay, thanks so much. And Robert, your thoughts so far?
Well, I think that sometimes like you can't really predict like how your life is gonna like end up, and sometimes you have to take your priorities first. So if it's like putting a roof over your head, like no matter what the situation is, whether financial or like with your house or family, I'm glad that like there's a program like this available, because it gives you a second chance at earning something that you didn't have before.
Okay, Robert. Thanks so much. Hey, getting back, Susan, as an administrator in your separate program, and you see the results of this, doesn't it make you feel as if what you're doing is meaningful? And one of the things that stands out to me, Susan, is what is it about the teaching process that all of a sudden, maybe I'm exaggerating, but seems to turn on the kids into a proactive mode?
For students to find success, they have to have goals. And we find that students who don't have goals, they don't know where they're going and where they're heading, they're the ones that tend to flounder. They have no direction. And that's when they get into some other activities that they shouldn't be getting into, hanging out with the wrong crowd, maybe some substance abuse, things like that, because they don't have any goals. So having a goal, and first and foremost, every high school student needs to have that goal of getting their high school diploma. And if those barriers, like we've been talking about, get in the way of that goal, then that's when they will drop out. So getting them back is, again, getting them re-engaged in that goal of getting their high school diploma. And then beyond that, and then once they experience this program at the college, they get to, wow, I can handle a college course. Not only are they handling high school credits, but they are handling true college courses. Gives them that confidence to now think beyond this high school diploma, and where am I headed? What's my goal now going to be? And as we can see from the success of this program, that many of these students will go to full-time college programs or full-time apprenticeship programs. So it's great for me to see that. It's great for our board to see that. It's great for our community that we re-engage these young people, and they're going to get employment at the end of this road. So.
Well, when we talk about the big picture, of course, it's great for the boards too, because more of our students graduate, and that's good news for the ministry as well, right? That we are doing something meaningful, and it's a proactive thing. But, you know, talking about students that are engaged in the full-time program, when I had a break here, they said, don't forget, there's two people over here that are engaged in the full-time programs. Heather, do you want to introduce them and tell us what that means?
Sure, I will. The two ladies down at the end are two students that came to the SWAC program. Both of them have children. Both of them live on their own and have for a number of years. So when we talk about this overcoming obstacles, they're two women that have proven that given the right opportunity and the right circumstances, such as the SWAC program, that they are dedicated enough to be able to manage all of those things and to be able to move on with their lives. So at the end here we have Shelby Faubert and we have Natasha McGee. So yeah, they're both now fully enrolled as full-time students at St. Clair College. And do you want me to let them say what programs they're in? And okay, go ahead, girls.
I'm in Office Admin Executive right now, and I'll graduate. I'm doing the fast track course, so it's for 1 year, so I'll be done and graduated at the end of August.
So tell me what's going through your head. 3 years ago, you were out of school.
Mm-hmm.
You had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
I must admit too, that I think it's important for our community to understand these programs don't cost anything. It's not that they don't cost anything, our public taxpayers pay for it, but the students don't have to be out money to engage in these programs. And I think that's something important, because a lot of students say, I can't afford it. Well, money's not the issue here. It's motivation and willingness to admit that you've got to do something. So was that important for you to understand, that the fact that you didn't have to pay was a door to open?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because even if you don't have to pay for it, even your childcare, if you don't have like a certain amount of income, it's covered too. So that's another beneficial thing as well. It's not covered by SWAC, but what? I don't know.
Help me out here. Is there an age limit here? What age do you have to be to start the program?
You have to be over 18, right? Over 18.
And the door's open, because you can be a high school student theoretically, but still go to St. Clair campus. Tell us how meaningful it is to be a full-time student, and what's going through your head now. You've gone from a perspective of being a failure maybe to being a loser to feeling bad about yourself, so now you've got a bit of a good feeling about yourself.
It means a lot to me. I'm in the Protection, Security, and Investigations program. So for quite a number of years, I knew that's the field that I wanted to go into, but I had that barrier of not having my grade 12, right? So now that I have my grade 12, I can pursue my career that I've always wanted.
And Angela, I know as an administrator too in the public board, you must talk to parents. And you must tell us what the parents think when this becomes available to them and how they react to it.
Yeah, I do speak to a lot. I would say not as many parents as just students, because they are over 18.
Right.
But the parents that are still involved with their children, they are very grateful for the program. And having this show is really beneficial, because people don't know about this program. They don't know about the options out there. We grew up and these options weren't there when we were in school, so we wouldn't know about them. And when people do find out about them and they call, they're surprised and are very grateful for having the program.
And Josh, where's Josh over here? Tell us what you're thinking.
Well, I'm thinking that one of the biggest reasons why this program is successful is because it takes kids who may be in an environment where they were told there was a lot of rules, a lot of things that they were told they had to do, that maybe that wasn't compatible with the way they learn and the way they conduct themselves. And you put them in an environment where they can relate to other people, where they're maybe not the only one that had difficulties in life, and they're able to really get to know each other. And this, I feel like this empowers them to take responsibility for their future and set goals, as was said earlier. And this greatly contributes to the success of getting your high school education and even continuing on in college later.
Okay, Aidan, just before you speak, see, I'm getting the sense that the folks from Assumption are beginning to understand that there are programs out there they didn't know about, but they're very meaningful, and they're not to be perceived as being negative programs, but doors of opportunity for people who maybe had a glitch in their life through no fault of their own or whatever. So the message that we have here, Aidan, is do you think these programs are something that we should be promoting to our young people in a greater degree than before?
I do think that these programs are really important because they have grown a lot recently. You said there's 400 people enrolled in this program already, and I'm willing to bet that there's a lot of other students out there who would like this program too. And so if we promote this and all the students are able to finish their high school diplomas, it'll be a lot better for us as a society.
And while I'm talking, if you two young people could switch seats with two people that are sleeping in the back row there. I just caught you, you were sleeping. There's also, like, we may as well promote the people that make this program work, like Art and Angela and Susan are the administrators, but there's also teachers. And again, I think, wouldn't it be just as we come to the closure here to acknowledge, Cassidy, what some teachers are meaningful there?
Honestly, I think all of the students here could say that we couldn't have done any of this without you guys. Going to high school and having, like, it's just different when a teacher actually takes the time to get to know you and like help you learn the way you learn. Like, it's not.
Yeah, definitely. It feels like everyone's really looking out for you here, and to have a better relationship with your teacher is really beneficial because you look forward to coming to school. And I definitely agree with what Cassidy said. Without the teachers, I mean, it definitely wouldn't be as successful because they make it really worthwhile.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do it without the teachers.
We may as well let everybody have their speak here. Go for it, Chantel.
I think another main point is it's not just any teacher. It has to be a specific kind of teacher. Like, if they didn't pick Chris, I don't know who they would have picked, and I don't know if they would have connected with us like he does. He actually gets us and he knows how to work with us at the same time. And he makes us feel like we are welcomed, we are allowed to be here, and we can be ourselves.
Yeah, and before I get back to Art, I think you would agree. Two young ladies in the front, just a quick feedback on what you've heard today.
Well, I also think that it's really important to have like experience and like interactions with teachers because like personally I'm in an online class right now and like it's really hard because you don't have like a teacher there like saying like you should do your work and it's harder to stay on top of things. So for students who have like dropped out of school and like want to go back and do their online classes, it might be harder than having like interactions with teachers because there's already like you already need the motivation. And like with the online class, there's no one really there saying like you should really do your work or like really like just motivating you. So I think that this program's great because it gives the students like an opportunity to really like have that.
And I think you're so right because online classes are a different breed of teaching and I don't think these people would have survived with online. But quick comment from you. What's your name?
Donatella.
Yeah.
Well, I think that today's society, really gives us the idea that there's only like one chance to get your high school diploma, and because like these opportunities are kind of new. So, what I've learned about this program today is that these new ideas should be like more like enforced in society for these students that may not have done as well as they probably could have now on their first chance.
And just before we come